Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to our presentation. As you mentioned, my name is Martin Shen. I am the President and CEO of FingerMotion. And so the agenda that we have today is fairly simple. We're going to go through our core businesses, what we do here at FingerMotion. Then I'll give you guys a brief history of our company, the milestones, kind of how we got to where we are today. And then we'll look forward a bit, maybe the next 12, 24 months, see what we have upcoming in our schedule. I typically like to start these presentations off with a short little video, and I'll see if I can get this to run. Here we go.
We are an evolving technology company with core competencies in providing mobile payment and recharge platform solutions. Our vision is to rapidly grow our user base and have this growth develop into an ecosystem of users with high engagement rates, utilizing its innovative applications. We offer telecommunications services. Our Pigeonhole's integrated system can seamlessly manage mobile recharge, data, subscription plans, and more. We accurately and efficiently manage online products and services of major telcos through our system, may it be B2B or B2C. Our SMS integrated platform offers SMS and MMS payment solutions, bridging clients to their user-based partnerships with major telcos. Our Sapientus platform utilizes data to power solutions for multiple industries not limited to finances and insurance by leveraging all the data that is collected into a predictive model that is able to isolate and extract consumer behavior and habits for future monetization. FingerMotion continues to aggressively invest in research and development. Our primary area of focus is the development of must-have application for consumers and businesses. Join us today.
Now, hopefully from that video, you can tell that we're well entrenched in the mobile phone arena, but particularly in the mobile data space through the different businesses that we have, be it top-up, be it SMS, but primarily big data. What we really want to do is fulfill our vision, which is to improve people's lifestyle by understanding human behavior. And we understand human behavior by understanding the data that resides on their phone. So what are our core businesses? We actually have 5 core businesses. We have 4 of them listed here and one that we're actually just launching now. First one is telecommunication top-up, which in essence is topping up the user's phones. The SMS and MMS business, which is text messaging bundles. We have the RCS platform, which is Rich Communication Services, which is an extension of the SMS bundling. And then, of course, overriding all of everything we do, overarching all of our different aspects is big data. And we have a new division that we called Sapientus. The 5th business that we just launched is actually device protection, which is AppleCare. And I'll go in a bit more detail of that a bit later. First, our top-up business. So what is top-up? So you're a phone consumer in China. You use your phone, you use up the minute. Use your phone, use up the data. And what you have to do is you have to go top up your account. In essence, pay into your account to keep your account active. Now, how you typically do this is you would go into an e-commerce website, be it Alibaba, be it Pinduoduo, be it JD.com. You find your respective phone provider's portal, and you click on it and top up your phone. Now, I equate this to going onto Amazon to pay your Verizon bill. Now, why would you do this? In this instance, the Amazons of the world will give you a rebate, be it a coupon or $5 off your next shopping on that e-commerce website. And since you would use that e-commerce website anyways, it's pretty much a no-brainer, something that they would do. And so that's how they would actually go and top up their account. What we do at FingerMotion is we are the intermediary in the back end. We are the payment processor that connects that phone consumer and that e-commerce website to their telcos. Telcos are obviously happy with the platform that we're providing because it proves to be very robust. But one other reason that they're also very happy is their consumers are happy. Their accounts are topped up very efficiently with very few failures and very few drop-offs. And of course, the telcos are getting paid, so they're happy about that as well. So because of the reliability of this top-up business, the telcos introduced us to a second line of business, which which is SMS or MMS messaging, which is text messaging, which is still quite a prevalent way in China for different companies to market their wares. So telcos have discounted bundles. Let's say it's 100,000 or 200,000 messages, and they pass those bundles to us, and we extend those bundles off to our corporate partners. They could be China Eastern Airlines, they could be car dealerships, they could be hotel chains. But what we also have is we have a review process in the back end. Because as you can imagine, in China, you can't just send out spam. You can't just send out any old SMS message. You can't be propaganda. It can't be anti-government or whatever. So we have that governmental review process in the back end. So it ensures that the message that we receive from them is reviewed very quickly. And so they can take advantage of not only the discounted bundle, but they can get the message out very quickly and efficiently for their own needs. Now, these two businesses, the top-up and the SMS, currently make up the bulk of our revenue. And past fiscal year, it was just shy of $23 million. So given the success of those first two businesses, we launched in something new called RCS platform, or Rich Communication Services. And as I mentioned, this is really an extension of the SMS bundling. Now, we've seen the RCS platform in existence in North America previously in MMS, or multimedia messaging. But the benefit of having an RCS platform is really because it relies on the 5G infrastructure. And as many of you know, China is probably one of the world leaders in building out that 5G infrastructure. The reason that you need that infrastructure is because you're able to conduct more complex transactions given that increased bandwidth. One of the examples I like to use is if Nike was having a shoe sale and they wanted to promote that to their authorized customer list. Previously, what they would do is they would send out a text message saying, oh, okay, we have a shoe, you want to take advantage of it, here's the advertising. And that consumer, if they did want to take advantage of it, they would have to hop off onto the Nike website or hop off onto the Nike app to take advantage. What the RCS platform allows you to do is you can actually receive more than just a text message. You can receive a multimedia advertising campaign or marketing blitz. And if you wanted to take advantage of that sale, you would press a button on your phone and you can conduct that transaction right then and there, which is good for the corporation that's selling their wares because obviously you're able to close the transaction. But it's also good for the telco because then you don't jump off of their system. You don't have to jump off a website, you don't have to jump off on an app. And the phone companies typically want you to remain on the system for as long as possible. So finally, because of the reliability of the top-up, because of the efficiency of our SMS and our new endeavor in RCS, the telcos then gave us license to go into their facility and study their user data. Now, with the companies that we work with, China Mobile and China Unicom, we're looking at a possible subscriber base, a potential subscriber base of about 1.5 to 1.6 billion user accounts. That's a lot of data. But a couple things that we like to stress first. One, we don't own the data. The data ownership continues to be retained by the telcos, which is important. If you go back to times when Facebook was selling their information off to Cambridge Analytica, we can't do that because we don't own the data. The second thing is the data that we do get access to has already been scrubbed for anonymity. So we don't get any personal information. What we may get is an account number or a telephone number, something like that. But then we also build in about anywhere between 1,000, 2,000 different demographic data points, geolocation, possibly where they move, how they, different directions they go, when they wake up, when they tap their phone, when they go to bed, different algorithms that we can look at there. So again, with those demographic data points, that is really what helped build up our database and our big data arm, Sapientus. Now, one of the examples that I like to give for the data side is take, for example, I'm a 50-year-old driver, and I drive to and from work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, maybe 5 miles a day, safe roads, safe residential roads. As opposed to the same demographic 50-year-old man, but I drive 100 miles a day. And I go on highways and back alleys in all hours of the day. Now, do you think that dichotomy of information would be valuable to some company? We think so. But having access to all this information, one of the things that we talked about at the very beginning was that it wasn't going to be very valuable if you didn't know what to do with it. So we looked at different aspects. We looked at possibly financial services, possibly healthcare, and we ultimately landed on InsurTech. Now we go back to that example and we ask maybe the auto division of an insurance company, do you think that they would want that information? We think so, because really the insurance company really wants to build out a low cost or no claim portfolio. Before we get too far into it, we can just go back really quickly and look at our milestones. Off the top, you saw that our company really started in 2018, but within 6 months to a year, we're already building out about $70 million in gross transactional value. Now that's not revenue. That's the number of dollars that are actually flowing through the system through the top-up business or the SMS business. Similarly, we had about 150 million SMS messages flow through our system in a month in June of 2019. Now, if I go to 2018, that's really where it all kicked off. We tendered and won the license to do the top-up for China Unicom and their customers. But very quickly, you can see that they already signed up to be our big data partner, understanding the value proposition of the information that we can procure by studying their data. I talk a lot about our relationships with the telcos, but there's also that e-commerce side, the side that the consumer logs onto. And so we started building out our online presence as well by helping Pinduoduo, one of the largest e-commerce companies in China, build out their online store, which allows the PDD user, Pinduoduo's users, to log on to their respective phone providers' portals and pay their bills there. In 2019, China Mobile signs on board. So again, now we're covering the vast number of the country. Now remember, just because we get these contracts doesn't mean we cover the full gamut of the whole country, the whole 1.6 billion users. It's a bit different. If we had the Verizon contract, for example, we might get the whole country. But here, what happens is that you get the country, but then you still have to work province by province, and we're probably about halfway through all of China right now in procuring those provincial contracts. But similar to China Unicom, China Mobile also becomes our big data partner as well. Again, understanding the value of the data that we're looking at. Obviously, the SMS business and MMS business is big for us. That's growing, and that came on in 2019 as well. In 2020, we were able to obviously line up with Alibaba, probably the largest e-commerce company out there, again, attracting or allowing Alibaba's consumers to come on board and find their telephone provider on their portal. We also launched Sapientus. Now we are fully comfortable with the data that we're building, and it made sense for us to create a separate division, and we named that big data arm Sapientus. A lot of you know that we kind of grew from the OTC days, the OTC Pinks, the Wild West, and kind of worked our way through. And in 2020, we got to the top tier of the OTCQX. So we were pretty happy about that. But then this, at the end of 2020, was a big step for us. Pacific Life Re, understanding that InsurTech angle, signed on an agreement with us, saying that they understood that that data could be of value to them. And so they took the first step and signed an agreement with us in terms of working together to study that InsurTech data. That insurance collaborations continue through 2021 by signing on Happy Life, one of the largest insurance companies within China, and then Munich Re signed on as well. And you would have seen a recent press release that we had that both Munich Re and Pacific Re have now moved to phase 2. And so the idea now is that we built out research labs, working collaboratively with these reinsurance companies to figure out the best way to work to maybe build a product that we can monetize down in the future. And obviously by the end of 2021, we were able to uplist to the NASDAQ. We didn't have any sponsor, we didn't have any backing, we kind of did it by ourselves. And obviously we're very proud of the team to get that done. But what uplisting to NASDAQ really allows is just there's more regulatory requirements, which should give more reliance to the shareholder or the investor that wants to come on board, giving them more comfort with the information that we're providing. So what's our future growth? Again, with that NASDAQ uplisting, you get more eyeballs, potentially more liquidity, certainly hopefully more funding. And where would that funding grow? Well, obviously we'll continue to build that top up in SMS business because that's one of our two fundamental businesses. But then we'll expand our other products. The first one being device protection, which is our fifth business division. I'll talk about that shortly. We'll continue to build out our RCS, our Rich Communication Services platform, and then we'll, of course, continue to build out our big data arm. So in that short term, that mobile protection plan, this is something that we've been wanting to launch probably for the better part of about 6 months now to almost 9 months now. What is mobile protection? It's in essence Apple Care. Now we understand Apple Care is to be a aftermarket product here in the US. What the telcos have done in China though, is they've built it into those monthly payment plans for the phones. So we're all aware of how the Verizon plan is a $40 phone. What Mobile and Unicom have done is they built the premium for the device protection into those monthly costs. So it could potentially just become almost like revenue in perpetuity for us, because as you subscribe, you get 1 million subscribers, they'll pay into it and it'll carry the next month. And that next month will bring on more subscribers, getting more device protection. Also with that is that we were able to bring over a New York Stock Exchange listed insurance company, probably the largest device protection underwriter in the world. And they have been knocking on the door of China for the better part of a decade, and they haven't been able to break into the market. And we brought him in, obviously, because with our connections with Mobile and Unicom to bring him in. So part of the delay that's happening now is Mobile and Unicom are working through the claims process and making sure that their customers are fully satisfied if any claim should come about. And we're making our headway through that. Right now, I think the soft launch is happening in 2 cities, but we obviously hope to expand that once the claim process has been cleared up. In the midterm, we'll continue to build out our RCS platform. So the RCS platform really is a white label platform. The idea is that we give it to whoever corporate partner wants to use it. They can bring in their marketing team, they can bring in their graphic design team, and they can build that out and build it to whatever format they want and then push that out to their customers. Obviously, it's a big step, and we're looking forward to see how that will work out with different telco companies. And in the long term, we'll always continue to build out our Sapientus and our big data arm. And like I talked about, these are research labs that we're working together with those insurance companies. They have their actuaries and their data scientists on one side. We have our data scientists working on another and working collaboratively. They'll come and say, okay, this is the data you guys have. What if we want this information? And we have to go back and figure out and work together. Like I mentioned, we just entered into phase 2. What I'm hoping is that within this fiscal year, phase 3 will come where we actually monetize the product that we can push out into the market. There's some short future guidance. Like I mentioned last year, we were just shy of $23 million in revenue. Our year end is February, so we're going to have our K out in May. We predict we're looking at about current year revenue about $30 million, and we're looking to our profit margin, our GP, somewhere between 10 to 12%. Obviously, we're affected a bit by the COVID lockdowns that were happening in China. It affected every business, obviously. But we'll see how those numbers flesh out when they come out in May. And that's it. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, please let me know. If there are no questions, please visit our website, and that should answer any questions you might have. Thank you again.